Hey guys, it's Not Lammers of Invoked 101. Welcome back, and today we're taking another look at the Battlewasp deck profile. So this has changed quite a bit since the last time I reviewed it and just went over it. I think that this version is much better. Now, as far as new stuff goes, I did get a box of Fist of the Gadgets, but I just didn't get enough stuff to build the Dynamo deck. So once I get all that put together, I will be doing a deck profile for that. Anyways, before we get into the deck profile, down in the description there's a link to our Patreon. If you feel like backing the channel, that's where to do it. You can get yourself some really cool stuff, such as an Invoked 101 mat. There's also a link to our Teespring, so if you feel like getting yourself an Invoked 101 shirt or hoodie, we have those down there. And lastly is our Discord. If you feel like chatting with us, that's all down in the description. So we're going to move the spells, traps, and extra deck aside, and we're going to get right into the main deck monsters. The first guy we're playing is Sting the Poison. This is your Stratos of the deck. On summon, normal or special, he gets to search a Battlewasp card, and then he can also tribute an insect to negate the effects of one monster. Unfortunately, the second effect is not a quick effect, which really sucks. After that, we have Arbalest, the Rapid Fire, and what this guy does is on normal summon, you can target a level 3 or lower Battlewasp in your graveyard and special summon it. And then if he's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a Battlewasp from your deck, which is pretty cool. I think except for himself, but usually you're going to be summoning Sting. After that, we have Triple Twin Bow. Twin Bow is really cool. It says during your main phase you can special summon this card, but you can only special summon insects after you special summon him. And then he can attack twice, which is pretty cool. He only has 1,000 attack, but using Great Fly, you can make him a 1,500, which is pretty decent for attacking directly twice. I mean, that's 3,000 damage, so that's not bad. After that, we have the other one who can special summon himself, Pin, which can special summon himself if you control a Battlewasp. You can only do that once per turn, and then it has the effect to burn for 200 per pin you control, which is pretty neat. And the last Battlewasp we play is 2 Dart the Hunter. So this is kind of your hand trap for the deck. What he does is if your Battlewasp monster destroys something in battle, you can discard this card and then inflict damage to your opponent equal to the destroyed monster's attack points, which is pretty cool. I believe he has, oh yeah, and then he has the other effect while he's on field. You can target another Battlewasp you control, a different one, and turn it into a tuner, which is pretty nice. And that's it for the Battlewasp stuff. You don't have to play 3 pin. I've honestly thought about cutting pin down by 1, but just don't know what I'd play over it. As for support insects, we are playing double Primitive Butterfly. I was playing 3, but I felt that it was breaking a little bit. I might bump it back up to 3 by cutting that 1 pin like I was talking about. What this does, it's a wind insect, so it's at that point it's practically a Battlewasp. And it can special summon itself if you control no monsters, and then once per turn you can buff the levels of all your insects by 1. So this is actually pretty cool. It's very useful for the deck as it lets you do a little bit of level manipulation and go into the higher level synchros kind of early. After that, we have 2 of the wind insect kaiju. So the reason this one is important, so I know that they specify insect monsters, so like, you know, you could also play sticky, but the reason I prefer Godarla in this one is not only is it a wind insect, but it's 2700, and that's relevant because of Halberd. And what Halberd lets you do is swing over this and drop its attack by half, which is really useful. So that's why I like this one just over the other kaiju. I think this one's better in this deck. So yeah. And then the last insect we play is Aztekapede. This one lets you special summon it by banishing an insect from your graveyard, and you can only special summon it once per turn that way. I really should also be playing a Doom Dozer, but I just don't have a Doom Dozer, so that's it for the monsters. It's a pretty solid monster lineup in my opinion. I like this lineup, except for, you know, maybe might put the Primitive Butterfly back to 3. I just haven't had the need to yet. Moving into the spells, we have triple Revival Swarm. This says target a Battlewasp in your graveyard, special summon it, and then it has another effect where you can banish it and make target a Battlewasp and make that card unkillable by battle or card effect until the end of the next turn. So that's pretty useful. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn, which is kind of lame, but it's a very useful Monster Reborn spell. Very similar to a Speedroid's Speed Recovery spell. And then I'm playing 3 Summoning Swarm. This is kind of a soul charge for the deck. You don't necessarily need it at 3. I've honestly thought about cutting it down to 2 because it is kind of bricky. But it says target level 4 or lower battle wasps in your graveyard up to the number of monsters your opponent controls. Special summon them in. Special summon them. You can only activate 1 Summoning Swarm per turn. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck the turn you activate this card, except insects. So it locks you into insects, and then, you know, it's a little bricky. It needs setup on your opponent's side. After that, the other 3 of I play is MST. Can't play Twin Twisters in this deck because the hand is too useful because it is a slower deck, so MST is where it's at. And then I'm also playing Insect Imitation, which you could play 3 of this. It's a pretty good card, although there's been many games where I've just opened 2 of these and I have no clue why. This is really cool because if you get the level 1 Battlewasp out, you can turn it into Sting, and then Sting will let you pop off. Or you could turn Sting into other things, or you can do a bunch of different stuff with this, which is really cool because it says tribute 1 monster. Whoa, okay, this is some really old wording on this one. I'm going to read this one instead. It says, tribute 1 monster, special summon an insect-type monster from your deck whose level is one higher than the tributed monsters. There we go. This has some crazy old wording on there. That's nuts. That's insane how old the wording is on that. And then the last cards are Monster Reborn and 1 for 1. Obvious Revival, and then this is to get out like pins and darts and just stuff like that. There's level 1s in the deck, so this is pretty useful to play. And then we have our traps, which is the last part of the deck. I'm playing 2 Battlewasp Nest, which I honestly might bump to 3 and cut the Summoning Swarm down to 1 and play 3 of this, because I just think this is better than Summoning Swarm, as this lets you do things, even though, you know, Twin Twisters is prevalent right now and all that stuff, but I think that this is a better card. It says, when your Battlewasp monster is targeted for an attack, special summon a Battlewasp from your hand or deck, and if you do, place a counter on this card, then end the battle phase. You can only use this effect of Battlewasp Nest once per turn. If this card has 2 or more counters during the end phase, send it to the graveyard. So, that's pretty cool. I'm playing Triple Fiendish Chain because this is funny. The Fiendish Chain is just one of those cards where it's like your opponent doesn't really see it coming, and so it's negation. It prevents attacks. It lets you swing into stuff. It's nice. You could also play Fog Blades if you really want to. And then the last traps in the deck are Solemns. Just Warning and Strike, because this deck really can't afford to play the warnings. And that's it for the main deck. Going into the extra, we of course we're gonna work our way down. We have 1 Ballista, the Armageddon. This is your level 12 synchro that lets you banish all your insects from the graveyard and buff himself or like shrink your opponent's stuff. Let me see. Is it yeah, it's all your opponent's monsters lose 500 attack and defense for each banished insect. And then if it attacks a defense position monster, it inflicts piercing. And then if it is destroyed by opponent's card, you can special summon 3 of your banished level 10 or lower insects, and he comes out at 3k, which kind of sucks. He's level 12, but you know, it's whatever. Next up is Hama, the level 8 Battlewasp Synchro, which is actually a pretty good Synchro monster. His effect is he needs a tuner and 1 or more non-tuners. It says if this card was Synchro summoning using a Synchro monster as material, it can make a second attack during each battle phase. And then you get to activate 1 of the following effects per turn. It says when this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent. Sorry about that. It says when this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can make all opponent's monsters control lose 1,000 attack or defense, and then at the end of the battle phase, or at the end of the battle phase, if this card did not inflict any battle damage to your opponent, you inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each Battlewasp in your graveyard. So that's pretty cool. And then we have one of the best ones probably in the whole deck. This is a Halberd, the Charge. I really like this card. I think this is a really good Synchro monster. It needs an insect tuner and 1 or more non-tuners, and it says once per battle phase during damage calc, if this card attacks an opponent's monster with equal or higher attack, quick effect, you can have the attack of that opponent's monster during the damage calc only. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each Battlewasp monster you control. So that's pretty dope. He has 2,500, so that's nice. And he combos extremely well with Aziza, so she'll chain to this guy's effect whenever he kills the thing and does the damage. This card will get specialed, and then this will do extra damage, and I'll read that out to you. So this says, When your opponent takes effect damage from another Battlewasp monster, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original attack of that monster. And then it says you can only use this effect of Azuzu once per turn. And then it has another effect, which is when a monster is destroyed by battle with your Battlewasp monster while this card's in your graveyard, you can special summon this card in defense mode, banish it when it leaves the field. So what'll happen, this will kill it, this will get special summoned, this will burn, and then this will burn, which is pretty cool. And this is also a tuner. This is a synchro tuner, which is really cool, a level 5 synchro tuner. It needs a tuner and one or more non-tuner monsters. So it is a level 5 synchro tuner, so it does like so if you're looking for a level 5 synchro tuner to throw in your deck, this one is generic, so you can use that one. As for other synchros we play, I'm playing Black Rose for the board wipe, Crystal Wing because we can make it, the Winter Bell because it lets you summon stuff from the hand, and then for links, I'm playing 2 copies of Great Fly because it lets you it gives your guys a 500 point boost. This is really a really good one. And I'm only playing 1 Pico Finalia. I would be playing 2, but I have no clue where my other one went. I know I have like a million of these, just don't know where it went off to. I would cut the Winter Bell for a second one. But Pico Finalia is really cool because it lets you take 3 insects in your graveyard, shuffle them back, and then draw a card, which is really nice. It's pretty useful, especially in this deck. And that's it. That's it for Battlewasps. They are a pretty nice little synchro deck, so if you're looking, and they're really cheap, so if you're looking for something that's just a cheap little synchro deck and is pretty fun, at least on a casual level, you're not looking for something too crazy, but has the potential to be about as good as like early Speedroids, this is definitely a deck I would look into, as it's very, very easy to work with, and there's tons of insect support cards, so you can work your way around this. You can play Goki Poles and Insect Knights, you can play Ultra Cocoons of Evolution, you can play, like I said, Doom Dozer early on. There's a whole bunch of insect support stuff that you can work around with this. So if you are looking for a deck that's pretty versatile, and it has a nice bit of synchro flair, this might be the deck for you. I picked this up because I was interested in Black Wings, but I didn't want to play Black Wings, so I built this. But yeah, so anyways, before I let you guys go, down in the description once more is our Patreon, our Teespring, and our Discord. So if you like checking any of those out, those are all down in the description. And tell me your thoughts on this deck in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video.